Hello everyone, Ben Hart here from Natural Music, and today I'm going to show you how to solo on a country gospel tune in the 4/4 time in the key of G. I use this concept that I'm going to be showing you today on my arrangement of When I Get Carried Away, and that full song is on the website under the full song lessons. Feel free to go there and learn note for note what I did there, but I'm going to talk to you about what I was thinking about so you can apply it to your songs. Let me play the demo of that solo real quick, and then I'll show you what I was thinking about.
That day, I'm gonna have the time of my life. When the time of my life is over, I'm gonna get carried away. When I get carried away, let the glory roll when the roll is called.
Okay, so let's talk about how I created this solo. Now, there's no melody line here. There's, so the song's already been stated. People have already just been singing, or it was me doing all the singing. And there is a whole lot of playing going on. So all you got to do is supply some improv. Now, you can hold chords in the left hand if you want to, or you can play rhythm if you'd like to, the offbeat, but I just pretty much just played, some improv. And that's not what I played, but I just, so let's talk about what I was doing. We're in the key of G, and it's 4/4 time. So I'm going to use the notes from the chords. So I needed G, C, and D. So here's a regular G, here's a regular C, and D. Those are the chords that I'm playing over. So while I'm playing over those chords, it's like it's in the chorus. I played some patterns of notes that made it sound the way I wanted to sound. And here's what I was thinking. So I knew these are safe notes. If you're playing over a G chord, to play a note from G, those are safe, G, B, and D. So I knew I could play all those notes. Now, I wanted some aggression to it, and I wanted some, bluesy tones. So I decided to add the flat 7 of G when I was playing over G. And I did that over C and D also. So a G7 is to add an F in there, because the G scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When we say G7, we actually mean flat 7 most of the time. So you got to take this 7th note of the scale and flatten it down a half step or a semitone, and that's an F. So those 4 notes I knew were going to be safe, and those were going to this note was going to give me the aggression in there that I wanted. One thing I like to do is kind of a passing note, or to kind of give it some swing and some character, is I like to take the 3rd of the chord. So 1, 2, 3. So that's the B note that we're playing. And I like to slide from the minor 3rd to the 3rd. I like to swing into it. So now I have these. Okay. Now, same way with a C chord. And I'll show you how I did that. I'm going to make patterns out of just those notes. And you can create your own patterns. And that'll give you this sound, but it'll make you your own artist and not just a robot of me, which is not always bad to learn other people's patterns and stuff. I definitely do that, but I want you to be your own player. Okay, so C, here's a C chord. Let's add the flat 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. B is the 7th note in the major scale. Let's flatten it. Now let's swing the 3rd. So E, 1, 2, 3. Minor 3rd to major here. So we got those notes over C, all right? D, so here's a D scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the flat 7. Actually, here's your 7th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's flatten the 7, it's a C. So we're gonna add a C. Now, a little bit different here is the F note, we're going to swing up to F sharp. So we gotta go up, because the minor is an F, and so we gotta swing up there. So these notes, all right, so those are the notes we're going to use over that. So basically, all you have to do is create your own little patterns or melodies or whatever you want to call them around that. So I like to, maybe you don't have to start with a G. You can start. I like to slide into the B there, and I go, and then only hit those notes. All right, and that's just a little pattern that I made up basically right here. At the beginning of that, I went over G. There was a couple measures of G, so I knew that was happening, and then it was going to go to C, so I went. And then when C hit, I thought C7, or they can hit a regular C, but so notice so far that I didn't use any notes. I used different octaves of the notes outside of when I was over G of all these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 notes there. And I always slid that. You don't have to. You can. And I went up and down, and there was no particular order other than the order that I created. So I didn't want to just run it straight up and go. Doesn't sound as much like a solo. So I played around with this, and I added harmony notes. Look, here's 2 notes from those notes in G. I went, and then that was over. And then we had a C, and all right, so I was thinking this C. I was kind of picturing this C in my brain, just like I was picturing this G when I played this. And then, different versions of G. But in C, I was thinking here, and I thought, well, I'm going to slide with my thumb and go. And then I went down here to this one and went. And then I was back to here. All right, so I'm picturing like this chord of C, this chord of C, and this chord of C in my head and playing notes and making patterns around that. So far I had. I can't remember it. So you see, I'm just creating those patterns. Using those notes. Now, once again, if you want to go and learn the exact patterns that I used over that solo that you listened, you can go and do that. But I want you to grasp the concept of this. So let's talk about D also. All right. So D, you got these notes, plus you can swing that. So like I did. So watch this. One pattern you could do, you could skip the A and you could start with D up here and go down and then go F, swing that to here and hit D. So I didn't even play the A there in that. And then I did it again, whatever was, and then here, all right, so now you got these notes down here. I'm kind of in this position, so I'm picturing this, and then I'm picturing this D right here, and then this D. And take it all the way down, okay? So there was a couple notes of G, or a couple measures. Now C. Now D, I think I did. And then there was this band lid. And I actually used the minor pentatonic scale there. We'll not talk about that because that's a different concept that completely works, and I've covered it in other videos, and you can go check those out where we talk about soloing with just using scales. But this, I'm just thinking about the chords and adding character to them with the flat 7 and that. So that is a way to think about how to solo. I want you to create your own patterns out of that. And once again, if you need inspiration, go and learn the When I Get Carried Away. In fact, I'll play that whole song through right here, and I go over the rhythm and the intro and that whole solo in depth. So look at the full song lessons on that on the website. For sure, especially if you're a paid member, you just go there and click on full song lessons and look for When I Get Carried Away, and then you can get carried away with that song. So I'll play the full demo on the way out, and then the solo is near the end of the song, so you can either skip to that or listen to the whole demo. But it shares, as you heard before, with the electric guitar. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. After the melody and after the tune of the song has already been established, then we're free to just play some improv and some fun stuff. And this is one of the ways that I create it. And you can do that with other keys. If it was an A flat, I would take a A flat 7 and then swing the third of that. Add some harmony. All right, so it's about repetition, and it's about creating your own versions of that. People play in this style all the time, but I may run a little different than someone else. So hope you enjoyed this concept video and this random lesson on how to solo on a country gospel tune in the key of G in the 4/4 time. And we'll see you at the next lesson. Thanks so much for watching.
I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. Well, I don't know why I become a little shy when I get around a whole lot of people, and I can't figure out why I never can shout about the love that floods my soul. Well, I must confess I can't express the feelings deep inside me, but the things I know and cannot show one day will overflow. I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. Well, I'll pass the clouds and shout so loud it may sound like thunder, and my tearful eyes may fill the skies until it looks like rain. When I leave this world past the gates of pearl and stand before my Savior, I'll let my soul let the glory roll when the roll is called my name. I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. Roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away.